Hello everyone. As part of our video series, today we are discussing with an individual who is a business analyst manager in Cisco Systems. He is working in this area for about 10 years. Today we will discuss with him. We'll come to know about what is business analyst role, what is data science, what is data engineering, and what all are the job opportunities in this area and how about the future of this area. Let's start the session. Welcome, Anil. You know why we are doing this video. It is because if any fresher wants to take up this career as a business analyst and a data science professional, then from this video he'll be getting to know about the prerequisites of this domain and the job opportunities of this domain. Yes, Anil. Please tell us about business analyst profession and what all are the job opportunities, its future, and how you get into this profession.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much. So I'll quickly share my screen, some of the diagrams which can be helpful here. So I just put it in the presentation. So as you mentioned, I'm a business analyst. I started my profession as a business analyst. After completing my graduation in engineering in 2011, that's from Tundadaria College. So after I graduated, I was looking for career in, of course, in electronics. But I also came across, so in 2011, analytics was a fairly new area, right? I mean, even though it is still a new area, but it has gone through a lot of transformation. So back then it was fairly new, and I joined a startup in Bangalore, which was purely into analytics. So initially, they had called it for a Java developer. So we all attended an interview, some of my friends and all, but eventually that was a role for business analyst, and I was given an opportunity to work there. So that's actually how I got into analytics. I can talk more. I'll tell as I progress here, like what all things I worked upon, and how is this as a career. So we'll first see. Yes, sir.
1 second.
Yeah.
In 2011, you passed out.
Yes,
and
sir.
When did you attend the first interview?
Off-campus interviews were happening. So I attended. This was my first interview actually in Bangalore, and luckily I got through. This was my first interview, sir.
Okay. So after graduation, did you do any course like Java? You said.
No, sir. No. I didn't do any courses.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't do any courses on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'll tell about the certifications or courses required, if any, here.
Fine.
Yeah. Okay. So let's try to understand what is analytics, right? So most of you know how our IT industry works, and even the corporate as such, the business world as such works. So we usually deal with different kinds of business problems every day, and that's why we all are here, right? That's why we get our jobs employed to solve those kind of problems. So analytics is a solution or an area or a domain expertise which solves business problems which can be seen through data perspective, with a heavy application of technology, and also some of the business understanding, right? So I'm just giving an example here. Like, so we come up with a business problem. So for example, here, like how many orders will be there for Swiggy on, so New Year is just coming up now. So just before, on the New Year day, on the New Year Eve, how many Swiggy orders will be placed? If that is the question asked, how will you answer this question? Right, so you'll have multiple data points collected from many other technologies which are there, many other tools which are there in Swiggy or outside of Swiggy. So the data 1, data 2, data 3 till data n are like the data points or data sets which are there. So we use all this data sets and then apply the technology or the expertise what we have to arrive at something called to arrive at basically the answer. And that's usually called as a business insight here, right? What is the uh, answer which is very apt to the business. So something like New Year will see a 25% increase in orders in a specific area like Whitefield. There'll be a jump of 25% area, 25% orders. So how did this happen, right? So many of you might have worked in the software field or know the software field very well. But this is the bottom of the bottom line, what we call, like, this is the exact thing what business is looking for, right? So we use all the technology which is related and then arrive at the business insights. So analytics is, in simple words put together, you take a business problem, collect the information or data around it, and then solve that business problem using the mathematical skills, statistical skills, and technological skills um, to arrive at the business insights. So, usually analytics, there are, it is very much related to statistics. So when we study even in engineering, the engineering mathematics, I think around M3 or M4, we learn around a lot of statistical procedures. So analytics is usually prescriptive or descriptive and even predictive. So the answer what we see here, so it's more of a prediction what we're trying to do, right? So that's what I
Okay.
want to show.
What about these data 1, data 2, data 3, and data n?
So if we take any real world, right, like for example, if we take Swiggy, so there can be many factors affecting this or these orders, right? So let's say, for example, this data 1 can be like a data set or a file which has the past like 5 to 6 years of orders on that particular day, how it behaved, how it increased. Then data 2 can be something like a weather prediction, like saying on this day it's a pleasant day, or it is rainy day. So then we can keep on adding factors here, saying how can this impact my outcome. So if there is, let's say, if there is rain, of course there can be, depends on the area, like they might order, or there can be no orders also, they don't want to order, or we might end up not having delivery boys or the delivery partners existing at that particular time. So all those factors affecting the answer,
Yes.
the last outcome, is derived from these data sets. So
Okay.
yeah.
So it means
Yes.
analytics means we are analyzing, or we are collecting some data on some business.
Correct. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So because of this, the word is like a business analyst. We are
Yes.
analyzing
Yes. So
some
I'll come.
business. We are
Yes.
using technology. We are using data. We are putting it in technology, and with the help of statistics, with the help of graphs and all, we are analyzing the things.
Correct. Yes, sir. Yes. That's a good question you brought me to. So the next thing is, I want to talk about the job roles which are there in analytics, right? So here, what I mentioned here, like these are all the, if you go to LinkedIn or if you go any job markets, you'll see these kind of job roles written: data engineer, business analyst, business advisor, data scientist, data analyst, BI consultant. So these are all job roles within this analytics industry itself. And they all have a very specific job. Like, for example, data engineer is responsible for collecting all the data which is which can be in multiple places, and then bring it together, right, and put it in a nice platform in RDBMS, in a database management systems, or make it more consumable for the business analyst. So data engineer is the first person who works for this data. So all these people are involved in solving that Swiggy problem, what we saw. But data engineer could be the first person who will see all this data and think around like how I can clean it up and give it to the next person in the chain. And you asked about business analyst, sir. So next comes what business analyst does is, his job or her job is specifically to understand first the business. Like for example, here, understand how Swiggy works, understand various factors influencing, and then also understand the technological part of it. Like, okay, data will have so many issues. So to solve this, I need to bring in, like I need to build a tool, a software tool, or I need to build a device, some electronic device. So that kind of information needs to be, or that person should be aware of it. Plus, he'll be the direct contact towards the leaders, the business leaders, like the CEO or the CFO or the finance teams. So he'll be like a bridge between, if we take data engineer as your pure technical person, business analyst, and then comes your leaders, all your CEOs, CFOs. So he's the bridge between these two people. So business analyst can be called as advisors, consultants, like that. So that's the, yeah.
You will collect the data from a data engineer, and with the graphs and all, you will be explaining the things about the business with the CEO or any leader
Yes,
of the company.
yes, that's
So,
right.
which company you are working with now?
I'm with Cisco, sir. I'm with Cisco Systems in Bangalore, and I was part of customer experience previously. Now I'm actually handling, in Cisco there will be multiple organizations. So I'm part of an organization called 1X, which means the complete Cisco's. I have visibility into, our team has visibility into complete Cisco's data infrastructure, and we advise on the Cisco's business. Like for example, which product is doing well, which product is not doing well in the sales, what all are where we should invest. Like for example, which technology is what we need to be investing in next 3 to 4 years. So all those kind of information or deliverables comes from my team.
Okay, so which platform you are working with now?
Yeah, so I'm actually, my role is actually business analysis manager. Previous to this, I was a business analyst. I was business analyst almost for 10 years now. So just to give the context here, sir. So there are many tools which come into play when we talk about analytics. So that's why I put this diagram here. If you can see, this is if this person is applying for this role, or if she's a business analyst. So you can see there are 3 things, right? So technology, I put statistics and math, and then the business. So so when we come to the technology side, it has evolved a lot. Earlier we used to code in C, we used to code in Java program, and we use Java for building charts. Now it has evolved a lot. So and we also had used R programming, and now the latest is Python. So Python is a go-to technology when it comes to data science, or data engineers use Python, data analysts use Python. So I've used Python previously. I have used for visualization, like building charts, building different kind of visualizations, which are in an automated fashion, and bring out even more information to business leaders. There are tools like Tableau, Power BI, right? And there are many tools actually. So
Yes, yes.
I
I
have
heard
worked on.
about one of the
Yes, sir.
CRM platform like Salesforce and all.
Yes,
I think
that's right.
yes, yes, yes. Through Salesforce also you could manage or you could analyze the things.
Yes. So currently I'm actually working on Salesforce. So Salesforce is a very new platform in this domain. I mean, what they have done is they have built everything in just one platform. So you can actually, so the data is already there, and all you need to do is give some specifications like what I want to solve, and it will automatically build a model, a data model, and tell you the scenarios related to it.
Yes, yes. The
So
platform is CRM platform. Salesforce is the
yeah,
platform. And
yes.
which one you are using, like Salesforce Lightning or?
Yes, sir. It's called Salesforce Lightning, but the analytics platform will be called as now it is called as Tableau CRM.
Yes.
Earlier it was called Einstein.
Okay.
Now it is called as Tableau CRM. So they have integrated Tableau into it. So the Einstein again has multiple apps within it. There is something called Einstein Discovery. There is something called Next Best Action. So it's a very powerful tool, and there are certifications around it. And
Yes.
I was just reading, sir, before this session, Infosys is actually is ready to hire people with Salesforce certification. So anyone who wants to pursue this, better option is to go with Salesforce
Yes, yes.
certifications. Yeah. Okay. So when we start talking about job roles, I think the most it was also called as the hottest job of year 2020. It is data scientist. So especially in US and Europe, and even in India, even in Cisco, we hire a lot of data scientists. We interview a lot of people on data scientist roles. So I wanted to spend some time on this specific role, right? So it is very different from business analyst role. That is first thing. So data scientist is a very matured role, and when some of the MNCs try to hire a data scientist, what they look for, I can tell you. Right. First thing is, like sir was also mentioning, and I was mentioning about certification. So certifications very important. And we were talking about Python programming and many other machine learning based programming and machine learning based algorithms. Even in if you take even in engineering, you come across a lot of these algorithms like k-means, right? So all of these things are also applied in machine learning. So it is it is better to learn all these things beforehand and spend a lot of time on the projects which are already there on internet. So there is something called Kaggle, kaggle.com. So we can go there and study certain projects which are already being done by some of the best data scientists in the world. And they'll already also give you the codes for, I mean, it's all open source. So you can use those codes and learn on your own. And also try to solve some of the problems on your own. For example, um, how to you can pick up the COVID data which is actually open and try to predict certain aspects like which area will need more vaccination, or as of now, like which has less vaccination done and which is in high risk or low risk. So something like that. So the idea here is, if you are pursuing for data scientist role, um, it's more of an end-to-end person we look for, like who knows data engineering, who knows completely about data, and then all the machine learning concepts. Machine learning is nothing but the different data algorithms which are required to solve the problem. And then good at statistics, good at programming, and also understands the business. So it is just not like a data engineer who will, purely he'll only concentrate on tech. So data scientist is very much, who can understand the business value also. Like, okay, if I spend 6 months on this project, I'll have this much of ROI. return on investment. If it is it's a lesser, I should not pursue. I should not move forward. So that kind of maturity is what is expected. So of course, when you are a fresher, you don't want to do that. I mean, you will not, of course, have it. So best thing is try to do things, try to do projects on your own. Pick up something very interesting, what you see in day-to-day lives, right? And try to build upon it. Uh, do machine learning level certifications, and also nowadays there are a lot of courses available online. I see like Upgrad, Udemy. So there are certain even the IITs and IIMs offer some of the good courses. There are plenty. So to name a few, I think IIT Madras runs one, and even Bangalore-based Triple IT runs a program on data science. So if you have completed engineering and you want to pursue something like data scientist role, better you do a certification, or if you have good time, please do a full-time course, full-time degree, and get it done, and you can move forward. Meanwhile, you can join as a data analyst somewhere where you can actually, you learn a lot around data. So how I learned all these things is like I was purely electronics background person, so I didn't even know SQL. SQL is a very bare minimum for analytics, because SQL is basically you run small codes to export data, right? So we didn't even know that. So when I joined the startup, so I was called business analyst, but I was doing most of the times the data analyst job and some of the programming aspects. But that built, I was much closer to these things technically, even though it was harder. Like we had to spend more time to understand the concepts, learn it. But like, for example, what we learn from engineering, during engineering, our labs, or the way the program works, the way we had applied things there. So the same things come in here. Now it is even more easier for freshers here because there are a lot of content also available. So data analyst, you can join and then complete a course, complete a degree, and then get into data scientist. And if you want to be a purely like a business analyst, which is even more exciting career actually, because you can scale up even more further in the corporate. So if you want to do that, you have to do your MBA. So I did MBA after 2 years working. I did an external. Back then there was no analytics specialization, so I did it in operations management. So operations management has it's purely on, it touches mostly on the statistics and data analysis, and we learn. I mean, you come through all those things in engineering. So those kind of things you study in MBA, operations management. But now, for my advice or my suggestion is, look for business analyst based MBAs. So that will be really nice to learn. There you'll learn about Python, Tableau, all the visualization, the programming concepts which I mentioned. All of them will already be covered.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it is, as per you, it is better that if anyone wants to take up a business analyst role, then he has to undergo a course.
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay. So what about the basic programming languages which the student or a fresher should learn? Like
I think they can
Salesforce,
start
I
with,
think Apex classes and all, it uses Java.
correct, sir. Correct. So there are, again, if you want to go into specifically into Salesforce, again there are multiple roles which again go into developer roles there. So what you mentioned are actually for development. So you will be in the analytics domain, but you will be put into development. That development is again mostly like will be like software engineering. So there, if that's the ambition, then I think Java courses and some of the Salesforce based developer certifications. Those will be really good.
Is
But
it
here,
SQL?
yes, sir.
Okay, so
Yeah,
for SQL means it is purely for data science role.
um, it is needed actually for all the roles. That's a good question. So data engineer, business analyst, all the roles which I've mentioned here actually need SQL. So it's more like a prerequisite, as you said. It has to be learned by all the roles which are there in analytics. So SQL, and I would suggest SQL and Python when they are doing their graduation, when they are completing their degree, better they concentrate on these two, and then also try to do some projects on their own using these two. So all are open source. Python is an open source. SQL, there is MySQL, which is open source, and there are so many new things. Cloud, as you mentioned, sir, about the cloud. So there are so many cloud based solutions also. So those will be really nice to learn as a before they start thinking about a certification, of course.
Okay, so for in graduation, if a student is there, then it's better to go with SQL and what do you say?
Python.
Python, SQL and
Yeah,
Python.
Python. Yes.
Right. So what about job opportunities in this?
Okay. So data scientist role is really hot. Um, you People get hired with really high paying. It's a high paying job. It comes with its own disadvantage also. Like it's a high risk, meaning high pressure job. But data analyst is also for a fresher. Data analyst is a really good one, and a lot of job opportunities too, especially IT industry. What if we take? So, like how why I'm telling that is uh, the whole analytics thing. This can even exist in even in the banking sector, even in telecom, like even companies like Cisco. So Cisco, even though it is an IT, but it's a computer networking company, right? So we are not IT services. So something like Infosys, they completely, I mean, there are so many opportunities in IT services based companies like Infosys, TCS, for data analyst, business analyst roles. Even in banking, they hire so many good talent, and it's a good thing, because if you get into something like banking domain, you'll start learning. Initially you will learn whatever you have learned during your graduation. You will apply whatever you learned, then you will climb up, like learning about finance, the whole economics around the world. So that will even open up your more job opportunities for you further, like risk analytics, credit card based fraud analytics, right? Those are like really cool stuff. So I was when I was working for the startup, my first project was for one of the biggest banks in the world, and we were doing I was helping up them with the CIBIL score, what we have now. Back then it was very new, so I was helping them with automation. So I used to talk to the fraud analytics people, like how they identify frauds. Right, so it's really requires a dedicated knowledge and things like this. So if people are interested, they can get into that. Even hospitals nowadays employ data scientists, and I have seen that, right? So Narayan Hridayalaya was looking for building a team. So they had reached out to some of us. They are building a team for data science. So that all those things are really like even in our days we have seen that. Like for example, there was a paper where we saw somebody had written, like my friend had written on the breast cancer identification using image processing, so using MATLAB. So he had done that. So now it has progressed so much that you just need feed in the data. There is a machine learning which is happening, and it will predict even the COVID, even the other cancer. So it's really vast. So don't just stick only to IT also, because IT, if we only talk about IT, it can be sometimes, you might not like it, because it's only about that software development, and you don't.
Coding.
Yes, you'll only in that space. So my personal opinion is that try to understand even the other as areas of where we can apply all these things. That's why this business thing, right? And then you can, get into entrepreneurship, or even, getting a bigger role in other companies, where now, as of now, it is like everything comes from US and you just code and you give it. So basically we are using our brains, but we are using it for very minimal thing. So just an opinion. So think big is will be my
Okay.
suggestion.
We have different roles and different opportunities in a corporate.
Yes,
So
definitely. Yes,
only IT, only coding
is
is
yes,
not the appropriate career.
correct. Yes.
So how many jobs you have changed?
So this is my third job. So first I was with as I said, with a startup. And then I joined a telecom company, Saudi Arabia based telecom. So there I was purely into sales forecasting. So there was a forecasting aspect to the sales of the telecom. So it was a telecom industry. So when we were in startup, we were actually trying to build something like Salesforce, like what I was talking. So we actually were, I mean, my first boss, he had a vision of building it, because he had worked in US for a long time, and he's the like best in class analytics profession. So um, so we were working that, and then in telecom, I was, as I said, it was mostly into forecasting, reporting, and improvising. So it was like, specifically what I worked upon is the phone numbers what we use, right? So if we don't use, we all know that after 3 months they'll recycle, right? So we had set up a complete process there using the data. So that was our business problem, right? How do we recycle without impacting the royal families of Saudi? That is a big thing there. So government of professional government officials, defense, expats who come into Saudi Arabia. So we'll have to maintain that kind of a data, and don't do anything, because it's a big escalation if you do something with royal families, especially. So we set up that complete process, and which used to take months together to do this, right? 3 months you do, next again you start. And so we just did it in like, after we completed all this, it just took like 1 day, and we used to recycle. Then I joined, then I got opportunity to work in Cisco. So in Cisco, again, multiple things we have done. So mostly initially I was studying only on the uh, customer satisfaction, right? On the customer satisfaction data. That's why I use the word study. So it's all study here. So you don't jump in, barge in code and done you output. No, you learn what it is, and then you come up with your own ideas, because that's what every company wants. There is a problem there, and we should be solution for that problem. So how do you solve it is you need to think around and then come up with newer ideas, innovative ideas, creative ideas, and so that it gets solved with minimal cost, and also with a bump with all the technology what we have. Then I have worked on the Tableau very specifically. We built a lot of visualization for leaders, where we took all the multiple data sources, and within minutes we used to give the insights. Like somebody asks a business question, we can solve it in like just in 2 minutes with high accuracy. And then now I'm handling, I'm leading some of the initiatives, because I just got promoted. So what happens is, after some time, you start interacting with data engineers, data scientists, data analysts, business analysts, all of them, and try to come up with solutions. So that's how the career progresses with this.
Okay. What about the future? We cannot
Yeah.
predict the
So
future, but still, uh,
yeah,
in a long
so
run,
I
if
see.
one has to take up a career, then he'll be thinking about uh, what would be the future of this career.
Correct. True,
So,
sir.
and one more important thing is, what about the package? What about the salaries and all in this role? because
Yeah.
if one takes up with this career, and if you want to see him after 15 years or 10 to 15 years, then what would be an average salary of an individual?
Okay. Okay. I can tell. I will whatever I've seen, sir. So initially the package will be lesser if you go with data analyst roles. It will be little lesser than actually sometimes the software developers, right? The high paid, you will be paid little lesser than the high paid developers, but you will be better off than the developers. Um, and to get more remuneration, or increase your salary types, best thing is certifications and learning. So you keep on learning and apply, and definitely you will grow without any uh, hindrance here, because as I said, companies look for innovative solutions, and these are all, since it's still new. So if you take software engineering, there is already a proper engineering based out of it. You have a software science, sorry, computer science built around it for many years now. So but this is all fairly new, so whatever you do is will be written on in the books. So that's the future this holds. But yeah, the truth is that's what. So you initially start very low, then you can keep on building up, and MNCs pay really high packages for these roles. um, Especially if you think of being into consultant roles, like there are things like Deloitte, KPMG. Say they do business consulting. They churn a lot of data on daily basis. They go through this kind of business problems on daily basis. So if you land on one of those jobs, like initially itself will be like more than 15 lakh. But yeah, as I said, if you go into IT kind of a business, then it'll be little lesser, like you'll be around 3 to 4 lakh, I think. And then it gradually progress. So I think a 10-year experienced person, uh, if I'm not wrong, or like let's say 7 to 8 years business analyst, will earn definitely around 15 to 16 lakh package now on an average in Bangalore.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're working in
And data
Bangalore now?
scientists will, yeah, yes, sir. I'm in Bangalore. Yes.
Okay, working for Cisco.
Yes. I'm in Cisco campus. Yeah.
Okay. So Anil, one last question for you. Uh, See, if any aspirant wants to take up this career and wants to learn this career, if you want some more guidance with respect to this career, then would you be available for them? Will you guide them or train them?
Surely, sir. Yes. Yes, I'll be more than happy to help and guide if anyone is interested in this domain and want to take up. So I can meet them up, or they can call me when around some free time, and we can have discussions around what they want to do and how we can take it forward. Yes, sir. Definitely, I'm willing to help on that.
Okay. Thank you. Thanks a lot, Anil. Thank you for giving us insights about business analyst and data science profession. I hope this video will benefit the freshers who want to take up this career. Thank you, Anil. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Hello, viewers. Today we have discussed about business analyst role and data science profession. If you still have any doubts regarding this area, then do let us know in the comment section so that I can arrange one more Q&A session with Anil. And if you want any guidance with respect to this area, then he is available. Please do let us know in comment box. Thank you.